Poor old Nige. You know Nigel Farage. Nobody loves him, no. Especially the geezer with the milkshake. Well, Nigel Farage, he got himself debanked, he did, by Coots Bank. The bank for rich buggers. Yeah. An ordinary bank account ain't good enough for old Nige because he's special. Well, Nigel Farage and his, debanking website. Yeah, he's got a new website. It's there for all those who want to, lodge their, complaint with old Nigel Farage. Whether or not they're being debanked. Unfortunately, your data ain't safe. It doesn't look like it's GDPR compliant. No. Well, that's another story. But I have to admit, so when I see 92-year-old men being, debanked by NatWest after they moved to Jamaica, well, it got my flipping cogs turning, and it did. What about all us Brits living here in the EU? You know, expats. Oh, I mean immigrants. Living here in the EU. Me, for instance, I live in France. We got debanked too. That we did. At least 10 banks in the United Kingdom, probably all of them actually now, sent out notices to expats, I mean immigrants, living here in the EU, telling them that they're going to have their bank accounts closed. The irony is, the reason for this is because of Brexit. Because of Brexit. Nigel Farage's Brexit. Oh, giddy aunt. Oh. No. I too had my bank account closed. Okay, I had a bank account here anyway, and I operated my bank account here. I just happened to have a bank account. It's open in the UK. But still, it got closed. Because of Brexit. But many people living here in the EU, well, they were using their bank accounts in the UK. In many cases, they weren't actually declaring them. No, that I know for a fact. Try to hide money, they are. But obviously, they don't understand banking treaties and stuff. But there you go, it's another story. Well, Nigel Farage, there he was, whinging and whining regarding his, bank shutting his account. Yet he did exactly the same to every immigrant living here in the EU. British immigrant, that is. Oh! Well, the fact of the matter is, Nigel Farage's bank account was closed because, well, there's a possibility he might have infringed their terms of service. Now, everyone's legally was entitled to obtain a standard bank account, and he was offered one. But the UK banks, like most businesses, are free to deny additional services to customers for a number of reasons. From threats of violence towards bank staff or to suspicious financial crimes. Oh, where's Aaron Banks when you need them? Oh, well, there you go. Well, I find this so hypocritical. I know, it's just ridiculous. Now, like I said, at least 10 banks and building societies, credit card firms, what have you, had all... This was back in 2020, this was, I mean, it's more since. The thing is, no one seems to care. The press don't care, the media doesn't care about how people living here in the EU have basically been debanked in the UK. No, it's all about Nigel Farage because he has his little soapbox that he does. And we keep providing him with a platform to speak his mind instead of a platform where we can just bat him with that old, whack-a-mole, maybe. Yeah, I'd like to whack-a-mole him. I would. Yeah, I won't be using a rubber mallet, though. Well, according to this, 10 banks, building societies and credit card firms have now decided to close accounts held by Brits living abroad in Europe as a result of Brexit. Yeah. What can you say, really? Now you got this geezer here who's living in, Jamaica. He's had his account closed. He's in Jamaica. I had my bank account closed, and I'm in France. I didn't whinge and whine about it. Oh, well. It's one of the things, I suppose, now. I don't really need it. But there's a lot of people who did. They used it for transferring their pensions and stuff like that. Because, they've had a bank account for several years in the UK, and they've used that and maybe transferred the money over to their European bank account. Using the IBAN numbers and stuff. I, for one, well, quite frankly, never really used it, but, and I declared it, and you're supposed to declare it. If you don't declare your bank account, there's a £5,000 fine here in France. So you must declare your bank account. You have to say whether or not you got one. Even if it's dormant, you've got to tell them. Anyway, what do you reckon? Have you had, question for you, if you live here in the EU, have you had your bank account closed because of Brexit? The likelihood is it probably has, if it's a UK bank account, that is. There are some kind of, ways to work around it, but it's, you might as well bother. It's just a pain in the neck. Anyway, you tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. And please, boot the old like button, because it helps the channel, There it is. There it comes. It's coming at you. There it is. Oh, subscribe as well. Oh, my yarn. Oh, and get notified. Oh, yeah, little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy thing in your pocket every time I upload another video. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the links are down below. And also, I'm moving a load of my content over to the memberships. So if you aren't a member already, check that out as well. And the links are down below. Anyway, it's time for me to go. So I can say ta-ta, So have a lovely day. Yeah. Ta-ta.